All right, so Vengeance Day is done, and yes, I am wearing a 2022 Crockett Cup shirt, NWA, of course, won by Dem Boys. So let's get into Vengeance Day. We began hot with Wesley and Dijak. Solid match. This is what you want for a really solid opener. You know, you had a guy who the crowd is behind. The crowd loves Wesley, and Dijak is just he's incredibly agile. He's huge, but he doesn't win that many matches or feuds. So he's like the really cool big guy they put you up against. That counter from the Feast Your Eyes into a Poison Rana was sick. There was the top rope power bomb into Frankensteiner that I think that they couldn't just seem to get just the verticality of it right. Probably no one got hurt on that. So of course we end up seeing Dijak put Wesley into an office chair and then put a broom across him. So this is going to be good. And then they zoomed in on Dijak for a while. I'm like, all right, something else is going to happen before he makes his big, top rope moonsault. And Tony D and Stacks got in there. So Tony D and Stacks took, Dijak's moonsault. And then, Wesley was able to hit a great looking super kick off of Dijak doing a springboard. Hit his finisher, 1, 2, 3. Solid opener. Crowd really loved it. Wesley's a guy you can get behind, because his story is incredibly compelling. And I was like, that was a great opener. And then they zoom in on Dijak's hand. Now, fingers normally bend this way. They bend vertically. One of his fingers looked like, instead of being facing, 12, the bottom knuckle was facing 12, and the top was at 45 minutes. That looked pretty gnarly. So, great opener. Dijak looks like his finger is jacked, but hopefully he'll be okay. That was, again, solid opener. Then we go into the women's tag match. Kiana James and Fallon Henley taking on Caden Carter and Katana Chance. Because Kate and Catanzaro just didn't work. So they're still KCs. And they're the longest reigning women's tag champs, period. And I was like, well, knowing the storyline of Katana Jade helping to cheat to win, I'm like, they might win this? And they did. With a bit of a roll-up and Kiana James holding the feet down of Carter. Okay, like the storyline for it. Does this mean maybe they get a call-up? Women's division needs more tag teams, and I think an actual, legit, we are a women's tag team that's an actual tag team and not two people thrown together randomly. Good work. And the storyline with Briggs, Jensen, and Henley and James, it's been a very long-running story. Not a bad one. We'll see where it goes. Now we're going to the 2 out of 3 falls match. So here we got Carmelo Hayes versus Apollo Crews. And Crews gets swept. Didn't think we were going to see a sweep with this. But, the idea is, we're going to push Hayes to take on the winner of the main event, so he becomes number one contender. Okay. Nice showcase match for him. Dabba-Kato came down, or as he was known before, General Aziz, to help neutralize Trick Williams, but not really, which then led to, Crews getting pinned a second. So he submitted the first, and then he got pinned the second time. Then Dabba-Kato came in and was like, how's it going? Picks him up, hugs him. I'm like, oh, he's going to get dropped. And then big ball the bomb onto a steel chair. And I'm like, okay, I guess Crews something to do for a while. Again, Crews, incredibly athletic, great look, and doesn't really win feuds that often, but is in a decent position where he's 1 or 2 wins away from being a serious contender. But it's like, at this point, just make Crews and Dijak a tag team. With how often they don't win, but they always look competitive. Do something with them. But great match, solid chemistry, nice showcase for Carmelo Hayes, showing that he can take on someone who is larger than him, not quite as fast, but equally as athletic. So it makes it a nice balance point to take for him taking on, whoever the winner of the main event is. So a fatal 4-way tag match. A New Day, Chase U. Feel good moment, I guess. Gallus Pretty Deadly. I was really hoping Schism would have won that triple threat match, because then you would have had the New Day versus NXT UK. But lots of great, just chaotic moments where it's like, well, we've got 8 people to play with. Let's do some of these sort of spots. Gallus got the victory. I'm like, all right. Gallus Boys on top. I'm cool with that. They're a great, fantastic, hard-hitting tag team. They put on some solid matches, and they're great brawlers. Maybe this means New Day get the call up to go to the main roster? I don't know. But decent match. Fine with it. Triple threat women's match. So a tag team of Toxic Attraction versus Roxanne Perez. In case you didn't notice, JC Jane and Gigi Dolan, it's like, will they be on the same page? When they were, they did a pretty good job. When they decided to not be on the same page, well, all of a sudden, that was when Roxanne Perez was able to take over a little bit. Loved hearing the dually, let's go Roxy, let's go Gigi chants. It's like, sorry, JC, no one cares. Even though she is the most improved member of Toxic Attraction, because she had the one to make the most amount of improvement, but she's doing well. I prefer Gigi Dolan out of that group, probably because she has a much more animalistic style. I do wish that you can tell that she's used to getting her bell rung in fights, because occasionally you see her telegraph a block to a move like 2 seconds before it happens. I think this is more of a, she's used the indie style where they move faster and you got to protect yourself more. But after Gigi went through a table, we then saw Super Pop Rocks. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now, ironically, they did this before, where a tag team took on the single title holder. But that one, the tag team was on the same page. That, of course, is when the Iconics took on Asuka, which was a fantastic match at TakeOver, because the Iconics would constantly try to pin themselves. And Asuka had to constantly run in and break up the pinfalls, because they were going to kick out. And I thought that was a fantastic match. This one, you can tell that they really have to rebuild the women's division now, since the person who held the title down on lock for over a year and then became the unified champ decided that she could easily make more money elsewhere. Now we go into a steel cage match. Now with this, Breakker and Waller really had some ground to make up. Their New Year's Evil match, with the way that ended, really sucked the air out of the room. And it's like, oh, like one rope break, okay, looked cool. Second rope break, and by count out, no. I dig Grayson Waller, great talker, knows his character, stupid athletic. He's got that like social media bit going for him. He's also a former reality star, so he's got a lot of things to make you hate him. Really punchable face too. Braun Breaker, just raw solid power. And he's babyface. He's like, I want babyface, but doesn't talk a lot, and he beats the crap out of people. And he's babyface that doesn't talk a lot, and beats the crap out of people. And this was all about, well, can Grayson Waller make Braun Breaker make some mistakes? And he did. So Braun ate a lot of the steel sometimes. Okay. But, you just can't put him down. He's a dog with too much fight in him, too much bite in him. And then, he picks him up and he's like, nah. After he had him beat, he was like, nah, ain't done yet. Looks at him and he's like, I run NXT. Big super spear. I thought he was probably going to take Waller almost into the cage with it. Got the 3 count, climbed up top, sold the arm. I'm like, so I like, when Bray gets injured, he sells it. He sells it even post-match. I'm like, good, sell an injury. Show that you're not invulnerable. Show that this is actually starting to wear on your body a little bit. And then Carmelo Hayes came down. I'm like, you know, have your two young lions battle it out. Hayes will do a great job when it comes to keeping this thing going on the mic. You put the two of them inside the ring, that's going to be a solid matchup, especially if we're leading that into WrestleMania weekend. All in all, HBK does a good job with these cards. They make sense. We're not quite at like the black and gold era where NXT was like, we're going to build 3 matches, okay? And then we're going to have one match is just going to be just a random pop the crowd match, and the other match is going to have really no storyline, but it's going to be a dream match and the crowd's going to love it. Now everything's getting at least a level of build to it to varying degrees. And, the matches are solid. At the end of the day, it's what you really can ask for when you're paying, $6 a month on Peacock.